First off, I don't think the pass was going to get there, but full credit to Michael Cowell, got there and held off a couple of challenges and kept composure. Could have easily blasted it and high and wide, but slotted it in a tree. Fine goal, lovely goal.
Now we just had a little bit of extra entertainment here at half time at the Mears as Town Mayor and of course Gravity FM DJ Ian Selby has been getting himself a little bit damp this afternoon.
He has indeed. Got the Ice Bucket Challenge, just done it. He's got his best suit on and he's stood down there now. Hasn't got changed, still got a smile on his face. Oh, top stuff.
He's doing it all to raise money for motor neurone disease, and that was quite a bucket of ice there. I did joke in the first half that he tried to get us warming that ice up for him, but that certainly wasn't the case.
No, there's no more ice in the drinks this afternoon. It's all gone on the mare.
The gingerbreads now coming out. There have been no changes to that Belper starting 11 that I just read out to you. And as Grantham come out onto the pitch, most of the side out there now, and it's not looking like the gingerbreads have made any changes whatsoever either at this stage. We had one incident in the first half, Dave. I didn't quite see what kicked off with the incident, but Greg Smith and Dan White, the Belper centre half and the Burley gingerbread striker, seemed to have a little bit of a coming together, shall we say, after the ball was cleared.
That's a very polite way of putting it. I think after it gone, there was a little bit of argy-bargy. I think the assistant was on hand just to make sure it didn't get out of hand, so might be one to keep an eye on the second half. We shall see how we go.
The strange thing with that, though, Dave, was that the assistant didn't initially flag for anything, and the referee, Mr. Dexter, only came across when White. When White went over to the assistant to complain about what had gone on, so that was a little bit strange. But the referee just spoke to them both, shake of hands, and they got on with it.
Yeah, I think there's a good bit of refereeing. We want to see more of that rather than flashing out yellow cards here and everywhere. So yeah, it was good stuff.
There haven't been any challenges that have warranted yellow cards in the first half. The referee has chosen to do that and talk to people, including Gingerbread's joint manager Jimmy Albans. Jimmy getting a talking to from the referee.
Yeah, I think that's par for the course every Saturday afternoon. I think we're picking up more cards than the players were altogether.
And it's Grantham who has started the second half, playing from left to right, as myself and Dave are sat here in the main stand at the Mears. The ball just bouncing around on the touchline and been put out for a throw-in to the Gingerbreads. It's Rob Stevenson, who's not really had an impact on the game on the Belper left wing, just knocking it out for a throw. That throw going to be taken by Liam Dickens. Dickens looks to hit Greg Smith's head. Smith goes up and gets a flick on it that Ben Fairclough is looking to capitalise on, but Fairclough out by the touchline is unable to keep the ball in play, and it'll be a throw-in to Belper in all yellow. The only clash that there would have been otherwise is there had been Belper's black shorts, but they're in yellow shirts, yellow shorts and yellow socks. The Gingerbreads, of course, in black and white stripes, black shorts and black and white socks, and that's been a feature for me so far of the season, Dave, is seeing Grantham in black and white stripes.
Yeah, it's good to see back in the old traditional stripes. I think a lot of people would agree with that, Graham. Yeah, good to see the 140th year kit all red last year, but yeah, back to black and white. That's what we're familiar with.
A quick throw inside there from Liam Dickens. Well picked out Ben Fairclough, as Fairclough had pulled off his man, but Belper cleared the ball, and John Froggatt nodding it wide to his stripe partner Evan Garrett. Garrett trying to take it round the Grantham defence. Scott Matthews tracking him back very, very well. As Garrett was trying to cross the ball, Matthews got a tackle in, but he wasn't cleared there by Jack McGovern, and Belper have picked the ball up again on their right hand side, the far side. It slipped in for fullback Chris Jones. Chris Jones puts a deep cross in, and that's beyond the Gingerbreads defence, met by Rob Stevenson, and Stevenson perhaps adding to his first half nightmare, coming in on that deep cross. Should have at least tested Jake Turner. That was well wide, Dave.
Could have picked him up, some ghost in the back there, but yeah, got too much on it, and no danger to Jake in the goals.
I think a few years ago both you and I would have been disappointed not to have hit the target from that sort of position.
Well, you'd like to have scored there, Graham. We're running around the pitch celebrating already.
But the cross came so far in, and Stevenson had enough time to set himself, but didn't do it justice. A long goal kick from Jake Turner that's hit Greg Smith rather than Smith directing that, and Belper scramble the ball away down the right hand side. Aaron Cole, who did look dangerous on the wing, putting it out for a Gingerbreads throw in. The referee not happy there with where Michael Towey's taken it from. Not quite sure what he's unhappy about. Towey took it from the right hand side of the dugout, as we look at it here, just straight in front of Jimmy Albans, and the referee deciding that should have been 5 or 6 yards further back at the other end of the dugout, and we're just waiting for Grantham to clear the second ball off the pitch. before Dickens can sorry, it's not Dickens, it's Scott Matthews on the far side before Matthews can try again, puts it down the line for Michael Towie this time, who gets the flick on, but that's comfortably cleared by Belper's Steve Warne, punting that one out of play. He had time to have done a lot better with that there, Dave.
Yeah, I think he could have brought that down and looked for one of his players, but just a big punt out there. I don't know whether they're struggling against this wind at the moment, because it's a bit blowy out there.
That's a good point there. The wind, it seemed at first when I arrived here at just before 2 o'clock as though it was going to be blowing across the pitch, which is most unusual, but looking at it now, it's blowing from left to right, which is the opposite way to usually. It normally blows from south to north, but today blowing from north to south as Grantham attack down the left hand side. Across coming in, Greg Smith trying to get on the end of it, but Mark Dudley getting it clear for Belper as the Gingerbreads try and close down again on the edge of the penalty area. Belper getting the ball clear, knocking it down the right hand side for Evan Garnett to chase, but Dion Michael just able to shepherd that one out of play. On the far side, level with the edge of his own penalty area, looked for a second there as though he was going to throw it back towards Jake Turner, but deciding in the end to leave it for Scott Matthews to take the throw. Matthews again going to throw up the line, aiming for Michael Towie's head. Towie gets the flick on for Ben Fairclough. Fairclough holds the ball on the halfway line, but gets closed down by Aaron Cole. The ball bounces to Alex Simmons. Simmons to Smith. Smith on for Michael Towie. Edge of the box. Michael Towie hits a low shot that was saved to his right. James Martin. A good move by Grantham.
Yeah, it was indeed. And Towie's there, goes in the centre midfield there again. Again, good strike on goal. Good save by the keeper. Held it well. But yeah, good move from Town.
That was one of the things that Jimmy Albans wanted more of from his side, was the midfield players getting in front of the front two. And when there's a move like that, that makes such a difference if you've got a midfield player who's going to run on and give the forwards the opportunity to roll the ball into them.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, against Curzon last week in the first half, we didn't get any of that at all. So yeah, it's quite refreshing to start the second half.
Good to see it from Michael Towie. Frickley was on the bench when Grantham won 4-2. Back in today with the rearrangement that the Gingerbreads have had to make, and has deserved his place.
Justifying selection, definitely, Graham. Yeah, goal to his name, and yeah, shot on target again. Working that keeper hard. Yeah, looking good.
Belper have just tried to get the ball into the Gingerbreads penalty area from the goal line, but it had rolled out of play. Well spotted by the assistant, because he must have had at least one or two bodies in the way there. It's a goal kick to the Gingerbreads that Jake Turner hits long. That's going to hit Greg Smith's head 20-30 yards inside the Belper half. That had a heck of a distance on that, Dave.
Yeah, good 80-yard dead ball kick that was. Yeah, Greg did well to get his head on it. He's winning the majority of those 50-50 balls. Very encouraging.
James Martin now is kicking into the wind, and that might take a good few yards off his kicks. Aaron Cole winning the ball there from Scott Matthews and putting it into the Grantham penalty area, and it's with John Froggatt. Froggatt tries to hook it goalward but couldn't get enough power on it, and Jake Turner just able to calmly and comfortably grab it. That all stemmed, Dave, there from that challenge over on the far side with Aaron Cole and Scott Matthews, and Cole just able to turn Matthews away there.
He did, yeah, got away from quite well. I wasn't sure whether the ref was going to blow for a free kick, in which case it was good. I think Watcher thought it was going to run through to the keeper, then the wind did hold it up, and got caught a little bit there.
Belper take the free kick quickly out to the right hand side, and it was Aaron Cole trying to get the ball in, but double teamed this time. It was Ben Fairclough getting back to give some good support to Liam Dickens on the Gingerbreads left hand side, and snuff out the threat that Aaron Cole has got. He looks the sort of player who could do very, very well at this level, or indeed I'd say the one above.
Yeah, he's looking quite a handful at the moment. But yeah, there's one or two useful players out there.
He's a big lad, Aaron Cole. He's tall, he's well built, but he's quick, and he seems to have a good touch on the floor as well. A few step overs from him, trying to confuse the defence.
Absolutely, he's got some good skills, that chap. I say he's a big solid unit, as it were, but he has got some. Got a lovely touch, got some good skills.
Greg Smith and Liam Dickens trying to work together on the Grantham Town left-hand side, but unable to. And Dan White puts a long ball down his right-hand side for Evan Garnett. But Garnett, who's been playing on the shoulder of Dion Michael for the whole of the 45 minutes, had moved just that little bit too early, and it's a free kick for the Gingerbread. 7 minutes gone in the second half here at the Mears. Grantham leading by 1-0. A goal from Michael Towie just 8 minutes before half-time. You're listening to Graham Cowell and Dave Philpott with Gravity FM on 97.2, with you at the Mears for the rest of the second half of the Gingerbreads game, and it's Going to be free kick after free kick at the moment. Greg Smith this time given as offside from a free kick. That's got to be so frustrating for the managers to see that when you've got the time to set yourself and you just caught offside. It's silly.
Ball kick. Yeah, so we're looking across the line there. I think Greg will be a bit disappointed in himself there, but it just gives the possession back to the opposition. So they've got a cheap free kick here.
And it's the goalkeepers who are having more to do with the ball than anybody else, but not because they're being tested with shots or anything, or even back passes. It's because that's where all the free kicks are. And Dion Michael gets ahead on the end of that one from James Martin, and the Gingerbreads defence get the ball away again. Alex Simmons on the halfway line to Towie. Towie spreads it right to Jack McGovern. McGovern looks up and crosses beyond the far post. Really, really long cross. Greg Smith challenging in with Mark Dudley, and Dudley's able to shepherd that out and put it away for a throw. I think Smith was hoping that he'd win a corner there. Disappointing cross from Jack McGovern. Looked up, seemed to pick his spot, and then really overhit it.
Didn't quite get there, did it? No, it was a promising move actually. I was expecting a bit more than the throwing out of that. So hopefully we can build from the throwing.
Towie's becoming more of a fulcrum and just pushing the ball wide there for Dickens, but a poor cross. Towie's become more of a fulcrum for Grantham this second half. There were times in the first half when he was not really involved in the game, but this half he's been getting involved in everything in the middle, receiving the ball, turning it on well, and trying to open things up.
He sure has. Looks a bit of a menace at the moment, which is promising for us. So hopefully he can keep the good work going. A long way to go, but yeah, he's looking sharp.
That's definitely a change from the way that Grantham played in the first 45 minutes. When although Towie got that goal, he wasn't overly influential. Greg Smith lays the ball back to Liam Dickens in right back. Dickens is closed down, but gets the ball up the line to McGovern. McGovern further up the line again, in front of the main stand to Alex Simmons. Simmons cuts in inside the penalty area, jinking past the Belper defence, but he's closed down by James Martin and wins a corner. A good, excellent run by Simmons there.
Excellent run, yeah. Wide twist run there from Simmons, which is getting very good at, and yeah, made the keeper work there. We've got a corner.
He took the ball through two defenders before Martin had to come out and close him down. So on the edge of the 6-yard box, the ball going out for the corner that's going to be taken by Scott Matthews. It's in front of the main stand with the assistant stood by the flag, and Matthews puts the ball in low to the near post. Poor corner, I think. I
don't think that was in the plan. I think he must have missed it. Yeah, but it's just an easy clearance, and
it puts the Gingerbreads on the back foot. But the opportunity that Belper had to break lost there as Evan Garnett seemed to hold the ball up well, put it out for what I thought was a throw. First of all, the referee blew his whistle, and while I wasn't looking, he'd given a free kick to Belper that was taken while the ball was still rolling. But Matthews, I won't say he's atoning for his poor corner, but getting across to put the ball out for a Belper throw-in midway through the Gingerbreads half on the far side. The east stand, Grantham joint manager Wayne Halcrow drop kicking the ball up for Belper to take their throw. As the Gingerbreads holding on to this lead, trying to keep Belper at bay on the edge of the penalty area. The ball's put in by Steve Warren. Offside again, another free kick.
It's stop-start, definitely, yeah. A bit of throwing moves down the other end a couple of minutes ago, but yeah, it's all broken up play at the moment.
There were very few flowing moves from either side in the first half, and this second half it's only really been Grantham that have got the flowing moves going. Belper have been looking to hit either Garnett, Froggatt, or not so much Stevenson, but Cowell on the far side. And so far the Gingerbreads defence have coped with it very, very well.
Have indeed, yeah. Not under too much pressure at the moment, so needs a bit of a spark from someone, certainly from Belper's point of view, because they don't look like they're doing much at the moment, but it can suddenly change.
It can, and from their results so far this season, Belper are a side that you can't switch off against. Last weekend, they got a point from FC United of Manchester with a late equaliser. They looked as though they were going down by 2-1, but that late equaliser giving them a point, their 4th point from 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, 4 draws from them. I mean, on Monday I think they was playing Matlock, there was 3-1 up. And they had a bit of bullseye something. I'll let you just commentate for a minute.
Smith showing his skill there, turning 2 defenders before he was bundled over. And Greg Smith, sometimes I think referees and opponents think that a big lad like Greg should stay on his feet a little bit more. But having said that, Dave, if you've got someone pushing you in the back, and you stay up, the referee's not going to give you a free kick, is he?
Absolutely not. And you've only got to catch these chaps just slightly off balance, and then they will go down. So because of the pace they're moving at, and it's difficult to stay on the feet. So yeah, it's a rightful decision. It's a free kick.
The free kick being taken by Jack McGovern, floated into the 6-yard box, almost floating over James Martin. Martin came out to take it under, and no pressure at all inside his 6-yard box, and it nearly came underneath that one.
It did, yeah, nearly got underneath that one.
But his long kick only finding the head of John Froggatt about 5 or 6 yards inside the Grantham half, under pressure from 2 defenders, and Froggatt can only put the ball out for a throw-in on the far side in front of the Belper dugout, and Matthews trying to get it forward for Smith, but this time Aaron Cole getting the header. A little bit scrappy, but it ball's back with Smith as he tries to put Michael Towie in, and again Towie getting beyond the Grantham front line to try and make that opportunity, that spark that you talked about, Dave.
Yeah, he's looking a big handful for Belper. He's back on the ball now, Towie, in the middle of midfield.
And the Gingerbreads having the better of the possession so far in this second half, but still struggling to get to break down that solid back line. Towie coming back to pick the ball up for Dickens. Dickens under pressure there, having to put a foot through the ball, and Belper clearing it, but it's Phil Watt that wins it. He was, for my mind, he was being backed into there by Garnett, but because he went a little bit over the top of him, the referee giving the free kick Belper's way.
Yeah, harsh free kick, I think there. Be interested if we get one the other way, if it's a similar situation.
The free kick's about 12 yards inside the Grantham half, on the Gingerbread's right-hand side. Belper's left, to be taken by Ian Ross. Ross is part of their promotion side last year and stayed with Belper, and he's going to hit this free kick. Everyone gathering beyond the far post. A couple of Belper players just inside the D at the edge of the penalty area, floated in, and Greg Smith able to rise and comfortably clear that, and Ben Fairclough turns, puts a long ball down the line, but couldn't quite direct that, and it's out for a throw for Belper midway through up their own half. Not at all, from my view, where that's been thrown to. Their full-back trying to take the throw-in only 2 or 3 yards inside the Belper half, and the referee is now beginning to push him further and further back, and Jimmy Albans exhorting his side to bring the yellow shirts out and take them further up the line. Poor throw in there from the right back Chris Jones, going up the line in play and then straight back out with no one touching it.
There's about the second or third one we've seen like that today, strangely enough. But yeah, you thought this standard football they'd do a bit better with it, but again, it might be the blustery conditions over that far side.
It could. You're absolutely right there, Dave. Just that little bit of blustery wind across the pitch as the Gingerbread's Laurie Wilson knocks the ball forward for Ben Fairclough. Fairclough with his back to the defender turns him and delivers a great left-footed cross for Alex Simmons. Simmons trying to shape for a shot, but is well shepherded out of it by Belper, who clear. But Phil Watt, a free header, knocking it back to the left-hand side, but Fairclough unable to take advantage of it. He would have been offside, so Aaron Cole just lets it run out for another throw-in for Belper. Almost exactly the same place. It took one just over a minute ago. Down the line, this time it stays in, and Froggatt's unable to get any purchase on the ball at all. It's definitely looking a bit swirly out there, because Phil Watt looked uncertain there, and it comes to Rob Stevenson on the Gingerbread right hand side. Stevenson creating a shooting chance, but well blocked by Liam Dickens, and Jake Turner was able just to pick up instead of having to make a save. Good work there from Dickens.
It was, yeah. I thought he was going to strike that first time, so they gave him Dickens a chance to get back. So yeah, he worked hard there to shut that down.
And it was very, very easy for Turner, and Turner's having to come out of his area here as another ball in for Stevenson. He was shepherded a little bit there by Dickens, and that allowed Turner enough time to come out and clear the ball long and diagonal, but Ben Fairclough not able to keep it in play, and guess what? Throw for Belper.
Same place. Well, probably a little bit further back.
A little bit further back this time.
Forcing them back into that hammer net, I reckon.
Yeah, Turner's long kick there did force them that little bit deeper, but it's turned into a gorgeous afternoon here at the Mears. The sun shining from behind the main stand as Belper again try and break with Rob Stevenson. Stevenson has gone on a 30-yard, 40-yard run, holds the ball up, but Dickens is just able to rob him very, very comfortably. Absolutely no output for Belper from that side as Dickens puts the ball long and so close into the touchline that it leaves Regan Edridge with no opportunity to do anything other than put that out for a Grantham throw.
No option there. Good work by Dickens again then. Good tackle and a good ball down the line, so we've gained about 40-50 metres there from nothing. Well done to Dickens.
First half Belper got almost nothing from Rob Stevenson. They've tried a little bit more in the last couple of minutes to use their left wing, but Grantham right back standing in for Sam Persico. It has to be said. Dickens has done an absolutely great job this afternoon.
He has, yeah, standing very, very well. Justified his place in the week at Frickley, and he's doing a good job. It's probably not in his favourite position as well.
The Gingerbreads defending well. Dion Michael and Phil Watt getting the ball away from Garnett and Frogger, and Grantham looking to build just inside the Belper half. Michael Towie pulling the ball in and getting it back, comes off the Belper defence out to Fairclough. Fairclough's hugging the touchline, left foot, right foot, takes on Aaron Cole, gets beyond him, left foot cross, stands it up to the far post. Smith's up, Greg Smith up beyond the defender, heading just past the post. Fairclough's beginning to open that Belper right hand side up there, Dave.
He is, yeah, good move there. He's using his pace well. He's very fast, tricky winger. Yeah, good ball in, and Greg got his head on it and looking at the target. He was under pressure from the defender, so yeah, good attack.
It was Mark Dudley getting enough in Greg Smith's face to make him head that ball wide. But Fairclough had showed some tricks of his own to Belper winger Aaron Cole, and certainly put a great cross over there. Smith is battling away in the centre of midfield, holding the ball up, getting it to Michael Towie. Towie surrounded by 3 yellow shirts, picks out Laurie Wilson. Wilson looks to his left and then swings it out to Scott Matthews. Matthews is closed down immediately by Cole, but manages to get the ball inside to Jack McGovern. A solid challenge there from Laurie Wilson that has left a Belper player on the ground as Belper broke, and in return a solid challenge back from Mark Dudley. Now there could be a couple of yellow cards here. First of all, I think Laurie Wilson is likely to get a yellow card for his challenge on Dan White. That was very not very late, Dave. I'll make that a little bit worse than it sounds. It was late after the ball had gone, but should also be, I think, a yellow card for Mark Dudley. Yeah,
I think they'll both get a yellow card there. They've had a good advantage to start off with, didn't quite fall for Belper, and then we've got a tit for tat sort of challenge 10 seconds later. So yeah, I think we've got a couple of yellow cards coming here.
Initially, it was a good. You're right, Dave. It was a very good piece of refereeing from Mr. Dexter. It was a late challenge from Wilson as Jack McGovern gave the ball away, but it did look as though it was going to fall nicely for Garnett. When it didn't, he didn't pull the play back at that point. But the foul from Dudley that led to his yellow card. There was no way that he could have played any sort of advantage from that one.
No, that's right. I mean, how far did he play advantage before he bring play back? Ref got caught 6-2. So I think it's a good bit of refereeing all round, really. And start with the town free kick.
Absolutely right, and the free kick is put out to Greg Smith on the right hand side. Smith not able to do anything with it, and Belper clear it again up to Garnett. Garnett back to Cole. Cole's got a bit of chance to run at Grantham. Plays it inside, a 1-2 off Garnett. Cole tries to run through, but a good solid challenge. And who is it getting that solid challenge in? It's Liam Dickens coming across this time into the centre.
That's right.
Fantastic performance so far from Dickens, getting everywhere.
Work rate 100%. I think the levels of fitness in the Grantham team, as Jimmy's mentioned over the past few weeks, increased dramatically, physically and mentally. Yeah, good work rate. Dickens working his socks off.
We've got that amusing event that happens occasionally in football. An offside given, and Belper are trying to take that inside the Grantham half. It's not a chance that they're going to be able to do that. But while that's happening, a substitution for Belper, and surprising for me, it's Aaron Cole, their right winger, who's been taken off and replaced by Colin Marrison.
Yeah, a bit surprised at that. It's been a bit of a handful, but obviously they've seen something that's going to work in their favour.
It looks immediately. Well, we're going to have another yellow card here as a result of Belper trying to take that offside in their own half. Pushed it back a little bit. Ian Ross was not going far enough back for the referee. Ross then pushed the ball back, left it for goalkeeper James Martin to take that free kick, which is only 8 yards inside his own half, and referee Mr. Dexter saying that's enough. That's time wasting, even though you wouldn't do that at 1-0 down, and in the book he goes.
It's just an unnecessary booking. I mean, later on he might be forced to make a 50-50 challenge. It could cost him his place on the pitch, so it's up to them, isn't it?
And James Martin puts that free kick into the Grantham penalty area. Greg Smith initially goes up for it. Michael Towie wins it in the centre of the penalty area, and Smith clears it away for another throw-in for Belper that's going to be taken by Mark Dudley. Dudley comes quickly across, wanting to get the game going, but no one else seems to be looking for that quick throw that he wanted to take there, and he throws it, delivers it into the corner of the 6-yard box, comfortably won by Dion Michael, and his header finds Alex Simmons. Simmons has got the pace to run away from the Belper defence. It's Simmons and Fairclough against the Belper defence. Still Simmons tricking and turning, trying to deceive the Belper defence, but it's half cleared to Wilson. Wilson finds Fairclough. Fairclough on the left-hand side gets another left foot cross in, but this time it's cleared by Dudley at the far post and over Greg Smith's head. But good work again by Liam Dickens there to close down Rob Stevenson and ensure that Belper don't get that any further out than the middle of their own half.
That's right, and then Simmons' pace there, he just waltzed away from that defender as he wasn't there and just slightly miscontrolled it, so it did come to nothing, but fantastic pace from Simmons.
But it was good solid defending by Dan White in the centre, not committing himself and getting a touch in to deny the Gingerbreads that chance.
Yeah, looked like was in for a really good chance here. Simmons' pace there, just even with the ball, just waltzed away from him.
Midway through the second half, a long clearance by Jake Turner that was allowed to run by the Belper defence. Greg Smith getting in on James Martin, but James Martin comfortably gathering the ball. 23 minutes gone in the second half here at the Mears. It's still Grantham Town 1, Belper Town 0. That goal from Michael Towie midway through the first half, the difference between the two sides. Belper trying to get in it now, and what they've done there, Dave, with that substitution, we were surprised that Aaron Cole came off, but Colin Marison has gone straight into the centre, so it's now three strikers that Belper are playing with.
That's right, yeah. Obviously thinking that now the last
dinked in for Rob Stevenson there, but Stevenson unable to get a touch on it. That was a really good ball in from Ian Ross, just inches too long for Stevenson.
Was, yeah. I think people were thinking into the last quarter of the game now, they're going to try and push it on. Well, they are prone to losing late goals, which could go in our favour.
Yeah, we can see the downside there of the substitution that they've made. They cleared the ball, but it just went into an open space that allowed Matthews to come forward and pick the ball up. And that's the space that the Gingerbreads can expose. But at the moment, it's on the opposite side. It's in front of us into the main stand. Simmons twisting and turning the Belper defence, trying to deliver the cross, but it was actually Marison who'd got back. But the ball squirting out into that gap that's been left by Aaron Cole, and Michael Towie just allows that to run out. That is something that Belper are going to have to watch, because that was just so easy for Grantham to pick that ball up.
Yeah, Matthews has had all the time in the world there, and so hopefully he'll get a lot of space in that left back position now. Cole's gone off. Could work in Grantham's favour with a bit of luck. And
it also takes away, of course, the help that Cole was giving to the Belper right back Chris Jones in trying to keep Ben Fairclough quiet, and Fairclough must be licking his lips at the moment.
I think so. I think he's got to beat that full-back every time for pace and skill.
Greg Smith closing down the Belper defence as the ball was played over the top of that yellow shirted back line, and it's a throw in for Belper 25-30 yards out on the far side of the pitch. It's down the line, it's nodded forward, came off the head of Scott Matthews, and another throw for the visitors right on the halfway line. The referee making sure that throw is taken right by the flag. Again down the line, a long throw for Froggatt, but this time Dion Michael able to hook it clear. Ben Fairclough going up, getting the header, coming off Chris Jones, and it's this time it's a throw in for the Gingerbreads. All of the play at the moment up and down the far side touchline, as Grantham leading by that early goal, that first half goal, looking to add to it, which would probably close the game down. Fairclough trying to take on Dan White, but White getting a touch back to James Martin. Martin puts his foot through the ball, it's high. Michael Towie gets a header on it, but heads it back towards his own goal. Nodded forward by the Gingerbreads. Greg Smith closes down Chris Jones on the Belper right, the Grantham left, and it's another throw to Grantham. The way this game's looking at the moment, Dave, if Grantham do get a second goal here, can you see Belper coming back from that?
Certainly not at the moment. I mean, looking pretty sharp up front. Yeah, if we just get a lucky break, a bit of individual skill, I can't see Belper getting two.
But that third player, and now it's Stevenson who's dropped in a little bit. Belper have changed their formation with their substitution, playing far more as a central three up front. Marison has dropped back in just now inside the Belper half in the centre circle, and it's now Garrett, Stevenson and Froggatt that are trying to get the Gingerbreads defence stretched I say, but then they've compacted it all across the far side as James Martin takes a goal kick long that Dion Michael comes forward, wins comfortably the header, and then it's Laurie Wilson knocking it forward. The Gingerbreads have been very dominant on that back line.
They have indeed, yeah. With Dion back, he's a class acted Dion. He's not lost a thing. Watt is looking in good shape as well, so yes, we're holding our own there.
And the Gingerbreads, Dave, just sorry to interrupt you there, the Gingerbreads with 17 minutes to go, making a substitution. Alex Simmons, who has shown some good turn of pace, coming off, and it's Jordan Hempenstall coming on for the Gingerbreads. Of course, both were on the score sheet on Monday.
Yeah, and when Alex came off, Jordan was on the score sheet in about 5 minutes, so more of the same this afternoon. Could do with that.
And in the same way that we said earlier about Michael Towie doing what Jimmy Albans and Wayne Harcrow want in this game, that's what we saw from Jordan Hempenstall on Monday. A much higher work rate than he'd shown last Saturday, and playing the game. I'd say that was a clear handball, absolutely clear handball there, deliberate handball from Ian Ross. And that just was completely missed by the referee. He was only 10 yards away from it.
I don't understand that one. It must have been unsighted, surely. Crikey me.
Unless he was thinking that if I give that free kick for that offence, I'm going to have to show the yellow card, and he'll be off.
Yeah, well, someone's spoken out of turn again, so there's another yellow going to be yellowed, I think.
That looks as though it's Colin Marrison this time who may have spoken out of turn, but the referee, I think, has just had a word with him. The assistant on the far side, Dave, has still got his flag up. Now, unusually, when
I'm presuming he wants to have a word with the referee because he'd put that down by now. So,
normally when offside, he's put the flag down now. Normally when the offside is given, the assistant will point to where it is until the ball's placed to his satisfaction, and then put the flag down. But he just kept the flag straight up in the air there. Yeah,
I thought something else was going to happen there, but there was one or two talking out of turn. If they're carrying Lizardo, and they might find themselves in an early bath.
The referee getting the game going again, and Greg Smith flicks the ball on, and Ben Fairclough tries to close down the Belper defence at Regan Edridge this time, putting the ball out. It's a throw-in for the Gingerbreads on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area, and that's going to be taken by Scott Matthews. Matthews has got Fairclough on the edge of the penalty area, jockeying for position, finds Fairclough. There's a big gap if Fairclough wants to use Matthews behind him, but he's being defended very, very tightly by Edridge there, and it's another throw to the Gingerbreads right up against the corner flag this time, and again it's Matthews who's taking it.
Yeah, Ben just run out of room there. Looked like he was going to get a crossover.
Flicked on by Hempenstall. Not cleared by the Gingerbreads defence. Towie closes it down, and it's a goal kick to Belper. James Martin will take that goal kick. There seems to be a little bit of chelp going on on the far side there. The referee's assistant, who's running the line in the Grantham half, is having more than a word in his ear from Belper manager. I think it's Peter Dutfield on that side. And he's certainly getting into the assistant's ear there, Dave.
I think there's one or two talking out of turn, and then we see a bad foul in the middle of the pitch, which sort of doesn't get the punishment that it should get. So there's one or two need to keep quiet, I think.
The referee again telling Ian Ross, the Belper number 4, who's already been booked, to keep it quiet, and it was he who handled the ball clearly a few minutes ago. He'll take this free kick a little bit quicker this time, dropping it into the Gingerbreads penalty area. Greg Smith going up and getting the header, and Jack McGovern trying to clear it. It's a snapshot from Steve Warren, the Belper captain, that flies a couple of yards over the crossbar. Smith got the header there, Dave, but no real power on it. Belper making a second substitution. This time it's a complete change down the right hand side for them. We saw Aaron Cowell come off earlier, and this time it's right back Chris Jones who's coming off for Kieran Wells. 14 minutes to go here at the Mears. Belper have made 2 substitutions. The Gingerbreads only making the one, and that's a complete change all the way down one side for the Yellows.
It is a complete switch down there. I think that Colin Marrison's just gone over to that right hand side now, while Wells has sort of come up front. So I don't know whether a switch around there.
Now the referee is having a word, more than a word, I think, here with the Belper manager, who's still going on about incidents that have gone five minutes ago, and the referee pulling him to one side, having a word with him there, but allowing him to stay on that far side. Really, he's got to learn and keep his mouth shut there.
That's really, they should be setting an example. I mean, it's not going to change the referee's decision. It's certainly something that happened 5 minutes ago, and we've got to move forward, haven't we?
Absolutely. And Jake Turner takes the goal kick long. Ben Fairclough challenging with the Belper defence, who half clear it out to Jack McGovern, and McGovern closed down by Stevenson on the left hand side. It's a throw in to the Gingerbreads, 20 yards inside the Belper half. Liam Dickens is going to be looking for his options. Michael Towie making space for him, but Dickens going beyond Towie inside to Jordan Hempenstall with his back to goal. Hempenstall trying to turn, gets the ball through to Towie. Towie can stand that up to the far post. His cross floating just over the Belper crossbar. Not quite sure that's exactly what Towie meant, but it had James Martin backpedaling, and it's a goal kick to the visitors.
Yeah, struggling to get here, landed on the back of the net, not quite what he intended, but yeah, promising again. And Michael Towie on the ball again, looking dangerous.
Some good play around the edge of the penalty area. Jordan Hempenstall is just sliding that ball through for Towie, and again that run beyond the front two from a midfield player making the difference.
That's good. Lovely close skills there from Jordan.
Some silly free kicks being given away in the centre of the field there. That's the second time in a couple of minutes that the Gingerbreads defenders have gone in for a high ball, and they just jumped straight over the back of Belper and given them a free kick just 5-6 yards inside the Grantham half on the far side. That's going to be delivered again to the edge of the Gingerbreads penalty area. This time it's Philpott who comes forward. Can't beat Edridge to it, and the ball's up in the air. Edridge knotting it back in to the Grantham penalty area, and it's Froggatt. Oh, and Froggatt should have equalised there for the visitors. He managed to work Jack McGovern off the ball from the corner of the 6-yard box. Froggatt had a great chance. Tried to slip it across the body of Jake Turner rather than drive it, and he slipped it too far wide.
Yeah, too far wide. Should have hit the target. He saw all the Belper chaps all got their hands on their heads. They know it should have been the equaliser. Just got out of jail there, Town.
It only slipped a foot or so past that post, but that was enough for the Gingerbreads. Head tennis first of all. Grantham not getting a clearance on that ball at all.
That's true, yeah. So lucky escape there for Town. Now back on the attack.
Back on the attack on the far side, and it's Ben Fairclough again with the ball. This time he's teasing Marison, who I think has played in about half of the position so far. Can't get anywhere near, and Fairclough puts the cross in, and it's skewed clear by Dan White. That could have just dropped nicely for the Gingerbreads, and it's given Belper the chance to break with Rob Stevenson, and this time it was Laurie Wilson who got the challenge in. Stevenson though is going to take the throw 30-35 yards out, but decides to put it back to Mark Dudley, and Dudley throws into the Gingerbreads penalty area. It's Belper now trying to turn the Grantham defence back to Dudley. Dudley swings across into the edge of the 6-yard box. Phil Watt and Michael both went up, got a touch on it, and it's with Ben Fairclough on the far side. Lays it back to Scott Matthews. Matthews with a long clearance, aiming for Greg Smith, but the ball going just out of play there. Yeah. Belper looking with that extra man up front to put the Gingerbreads on under a lot of pressure at the back, but that must leave some gaps. Hempenstall now. Seemed as though he was put in by an excellent ball from Michael Towie, but Hempenstall, I thought that was the right decision, Dave. He seemed to have moved just that little bit too early.
I think he did, yeah. The assistants just leave the flag that little bit later these days to make sure he does make contact with the ball, so he has the right decision.
Phil Watt heading the ball clear from just outside his own penalty area. Belper putting Grantham under a lot of pressure. It looks like 3-4 players on that front line for Belper as the Gingerbreads clear the ball in front of us inside the main stand, and Jordan Hempenstall winning a throw for Grantham that's 20 yards inside the Gingerbreads half. Grantham taking their time about this, and referee Mr. Dexter pointedly looking at his watch there, stopping the watch as Greg Smith puts the ball on for Hempenstall, and Hempenstall hadn't really looked there, had he?
No, another offside decision, good decision, but it's getting a bit more open now. Looks like there's going to be another goal, but which way?
It could go either way as Belper, with 9 minutes to go, make their third substitution, and this time it's their captain Steve Warne who's coming off. Obviously no favouritism for the captain there. Warne, who fired a shot just over the Grantham crossbar only a few minutes ago, he's come off. And I didn't quite see there, Dave, who they've replaced him with.
I didn't see who came on myself. I took my eye off it. I'll look in a minute, see which number it's got.
And as we had last week, they never turn the back in those circumstances, so you can see what the numbers. So Belper now have made their final throw of the dice as James Martin puts a long free kick, and Phil Watt heads the ball clear.
I think it's 14, Simon Harrison. Sorry, Graham.
Simon Harrison, thank you very much for that, Dave. Belper tried to knock the ball back in, but the Gingerbreads are now finding themselves increasingly under pressure, and Grantham need to get a foot on the ball instead of that long ball that Scott Matthews has just played to nobody. Grantham need to be able to get the foot on the ball and bring it out, and Belper have made changes that should have opened 1 or 2 spaces up. They're now playing almost with 4 if not 5 on that front line, trying to get themselves back into this game, and Grantham have got to be able to take advantage of the gaps that there should be behind us. Ben Fairclough now tries to do that, bringing it away, 3 against 3. Fairclough running diagonally across the pitch, taking on the Belper defence, but good solid defending that time from Mark Dudley. That's the sort of opening that Grantham should see more of now, Dave.
That's what we need. Hopefully the last 10 minutes we'll get more of that, and we'll get some joy. But yes, it's definitely opened up in his last few minutes.
Bad news for the Gingerbreads here though, as Fairclough has stayed down after Dudley's challenge. Dudley's challenge was a very, very good solid defender's challenge, as Fairclough was running across the face of him. No hint of a foul there, won the ball cleanly, so it's a throw in for the Gingerbreads that Dickens is going to take midway through the Belper half, inside to Laurie Wilson, back to Dickens, right against the touchline. Dickens has got the time here to pick his ball and plays it too much inside for Fairclough. It was a good run from Fairclough, the right idea from Dickens, but Belper were able to get that clear, and Philpott again just seemed to be caught out as the ball held up.
Yeah, he did a little bit. We're looking to get the throw in there. I think Fairclough's injured at the moment though. He's gone down again.
Fairclough, who a couple of minutes ago had gone down from the challenge from Mark Dudley, is now down again, and that doesn't look good for the Gingerbreads winger, and he's come across the right hand side a couple of times here, but he's certainly been a thorn in the Belper side on the left hand side all second half.
It has indeed. It's all going to have time at the end. As I say, Belper are prone to losing goals at the end. They've got the bullseye syndrome, and that they've had been in winning positions and thrown them away. So as Jim Bone would say, go and have a look at what you could have won. But hopefully this will go in Town's favour with the fitness issue. We shall see how we go.
We've only got 6 minutes here to go, plus whatever the referee adds on, and with Fairclough being down at the moment, and with us having had 4 substitutions and 3 yellow cards, we could be here quite a little bit longer after over the 90 minutes.
I think so, yeah. Hopefully the tea's not going to get cold, but yeah, I think there'll be a fair amount of stoppage time, which will get the locals moaning and groaning if we're still leading 1-0. But it's all going to be added on. We mustn't forget that, because we're up to about 39 minutes. I think we've got 6 minutes to go. I think we're in a good 5 minutes of stoppage time to go at least.
I think you're absolutely right there, Dave. I think there could well be 5 minutes of stoppage time. Ben Fairclough is definitely going to be coming off. He's got his shin pads in his hand. He's limping off towards the far side with Dennis Rule. Belper are not happy about this, because they're in their view, because of where Fairclough have gone down, which was, to be fair, only 20 yards or so from the touchline on this side. They feel that he should have gone off the pitch this way and walked all the way around.
Yeah, they're not happy with the throwing decision anyway, which I think was the correct decision. I do think it's a Grantham throw. But yeah, when things don't go your way, it always seems like everything's downhill. But well played, Ben Fairclough. Another good shift from that lad. Very impressed with him.
And he's making his way off the pitch under his own steam, and it's Connor Johnson who's going to come on. Johnson came on Monday against Frickley, so this will be a little bit of a change for the Gingerbreads. Probably going to set up that little bit more solid. They played more as a 4-3-3 all game, but with Johnson being a midfielder, Fairclough playing up front, probably expect to see Grantham play that a little bit more solidly as a 4-4-2.
I think you're right there, Graham. Yeah, over there's still some gaps on the Town's left-hand side. I mean, I still feel there's a long way to go yet, and another goal on the offing.
Back underway again now with 5 minutes on the clock, plus whatever referee Mr Dexter adds, as Belper try to get both Evan Garnett and Kieran Wells in down their left hand side, but the ball looping out for a throw-in. As we were just a minute ago, it'll be Liam Dickens to try and get the ball up the line for the Gingerbreads, as Grantham has spent most of the last 10-15 minutes inside their own half, and when they give away silly free kicks like that, Dave, it's not surprising.
Telegraphed that one, I'm afraid. Yeah, a bit obvious. Greg, a little bit naughty. He knew what he was doing and didn't get away with it. Didn't put his arms up there, but it was a clear bump in the back as the ball was coming to him, and that allows Belper again just to deliver a free kick onto the edge of the Gingerbreads penalty area. It's taken by Mark Dudley. It's in the air a long time to the far side, but this time Dion Michael winning clearly, and it's out with Jordan Hempenstall. Hempenstall turns, tries to put Jack McGovern in, but a mistake by the Belper defence there gives McGovern absolutely acres to race into down the right wing, looking up with 3 players on the far post, crosses into the 6-yard box. James Martin comes out, dives and punches away. Greg Smith picking the ball up 25-30 yards out, tries his look from distance and flies over the top. Horrible mistake there by Mark Dudley, and Grantham should have capitalised. Yeah, well ahead down that right hand side. Good crossing, good save from James Martin in goals, and ambitious shot from Greg, but yeah, was open for another goal there.
James Martin did exactly the right thing there, Dave, didn't he? It was a teasing cross from Jack McGovern, and Martin coming out and choosing to punch clear rather than try and catch it.
Yeah, good punch shot, good distance, like a good 35 yards out. So Greg did try his luck, but there's always going to be a good shot to beat James Martin from there.
Hempenstall trying to turn the Belper defence, clearly held back there by Simon Harrison. And the referee is calling Harrison across as he had been turned there by Hempenstall. Although actually, I thought it was Harrison who was going to call across, because it was definitely Harrison that pulled him back. But Regan Edridge must have said something to the referee this time, because it's Edridge that goes into the book, not Harrison.
Yeah, unless it's mistaken identity, I'm sure. I mean, Harrison's been on the pitch 5 minutes. I wonder if he's spoken out of turn again. I don't know, but there's no dispute about the free kick.
It was just a little tug, but it was definitely a clear tug, giving the Gingerbreads a free kick 35 yards out on the far side. Laurie Wilson standing over it. Wilson looking for a short one initially, then looping it over for Hempenstall. Hempenstall looping it over the defender's head, chasing it into the 6 yards, into the penalty area, winning the header, but Belper have been able to clear it through Ian Ross. Put the ball though knocked back in wide by the Gingerbreads, too wide, and it's a throw in for Belper. We've got 2 minutes to go here at the Mears. The Gingerbreads leading by 1-0. That first half goal from Michael Tower. You're listening to commentary from the Mears of the Evo Stick Northern Premier League with Grantham, with Gravity FM. And Dion Michael heads the ball forward down the line. Another throw for Belper, as they look to get an equaliser that would keep up their 100% record of drawing every game. The ball ricocheting to Jack McGovern. McGovern knocking it back to Turner. Turner, though, having to clear a little bit less time than he thought, but his long clearance headed clear well there by Dan White for Belper. The referee giving a free kick.
Judging by what the referee was doing,
but it seems as though it was an absolutely free header for Dan White. So quite who was putting the push on him?
Strange.
We've got Jack McGovern now, who's dropping quite deep. That was surely dangerous play by Simon Harrison. It was the two number 14s there, Connor Johnson and Simon Harrison. Johnson didn't put his head down at all for that. Harrison's foot was high, so it's a free kick for Grantham as we're in the last 30 seconds of normal time. Now, we may or may not get a board that tells us how many added minutes there are. Sometimes referees at this level do this at the end of the game, and other times they don't. They're supposed to, and it frustrates managers, I know.
We could have up to a good 4, 5, 6 minutes ago yet, but yeah, we could do with knowing, but Grantham just took the sting out of the game a little bit now.
Turner's just knocked the free kick wide to Greg Smith. Greg Smith's holding the ball up on the touchline, finding Jack McGovern. McGovern inside to Wilson. Wilson knocks it forward for Michael Towie. Towie puts it on, almost for Hempenstall. Towie's touch took the ball just 2 or 3 yards in front of Hempenstall, and Belper able to clear the ball. James Martin, long clearance. Phil Watt getting a header on that clearance, but it was only a back header, and Jake Turner was unable to do anything with it as we move into added time. No indication still of how much added time, but it's a corner for the visitors. Dangerous moments here for the Gingerbreads. Ian Ross to take the corner out on the Grantham right hand side. Belper all massing beyond the far post. It's just not dropped up by Ross to the far post, and Greg Smith just puts a foot through that, but finds Jordan Hempenstall. Hempenstall inside for Johnson. Johnson inside to the edge of the Belper penalty area. It's there for Laurie Wilson, and instead of having a shot, Wilson puts it for Connor Johnson. Two midfielders there trying to create the chance, but Johnson keeps the ball in. Hempenstall on the Grantham left hand side, twisting and turning his defender, trying to make space for the cross, and he does, and it's to Wilson again on the far post. Wilson holding the ball up. There's now 5 Belper defenders back. Wilson right foot cross over the edge of the Belper 6-yard box, and the visitors clear with Rob Stevenson. Dave, 2 midfielders there who tried to pass it rather than hit the shot.
Yeah, I replayed it. I suppose to go for the perfect goal. I can understand what I was doing. It was 2-on-1. But a good chance gone, I'm afraid.
A great chance gone there to have put the game to bed. And Dickens again winning the ball back for Grantham, finding Johnson, and Johnson picks out a lovely ball from Jordan Hempenstall on for Greg Smith. Greg Smith slipping that chance past James Martin, but also past the post. The Gingerbreads in the last 2 minutes into injury time have had chances when they should really have put this game to bed.
Yeah, 1-on-1. Greg distraught, should have hit the target, didn't work the keeper, but 2 fantastic chances. We're not going to rue that or rue them.
a superb ball from Jordan Hempenstall beyond the Belper defence for Greg Smith. And Smith, who hasn't managed to score yet this season, no wonder he's looking distraught at that. It was one-on-one with James Martin, slipped it past the Belper goalkeeper, but not on target. And Belper now have got that chance to put the Gingerbreads under pressure. A long throw down the touchline. Dion Michael getting his head on the ball, but it's only as far as Ian Ross. Ross puts it into the far side, and Jack McGovern gets a touch on that and plays it long down the line. And Smith is now battling to get there first. Does get there first on the halfway line. It's a throw in to the visitors. 2.5 minutes of injury time added so far by referee Mr. Dexter. Myself and Dave think there's probably another 2.5 for Grantham to defend as Dudley gains an extra 10 yards before taking that throw towards the Grantham penalty area. It's put wide for Kieran Wells. Wells manages just to keep the ball in, and he's fouled by Liam Dickens. Free kick for the visitors just outside the Grantham penalty area, right out on the touchline. And again, it's Ian Ross who's going to float this in. Everybody massing now. Even James Martin is going forward for this one. The Belper goalkeeper heading into the Grantham penalty area now as Ian Ross lines a free kick up, puts it in long beyond the far post, too long, and Regan Edridge got a head on the ball, but it's out for a Grantham goalkeeper. James Martin there coming forward, and wrong delivery really.
It was, yeah, a bit too deep really. Everybody forward to set the number 3, but they should have done better with that really.
I always think with that kind of a free kick, Dave, if you're going to put it beyond the far post, you want to put it beyond the far post for someone to nod back into the 6-yard box, and that didn't seem to be anything really of that.
No, we got good view from me. I was directly behind it, and he didn't strike it very well. Bit of a waste, really. Thankfully,
wasted. James. Long goal kick from Jake Turner. Jordan Hempenstall battling away there to win the ball, and Belper putting it out for a throw into the Gingerbreads. Grantham taking their time about this. Dickens will come forward to take it. We've had nearly 4 minutes of added time now here. Grantham leading by 1-0, waiting for the referee's whistle. He's got his whistle in his mouth, but it's only to keep Grantham taking the throw in, and it's down in the corner with Jordan Hempenstall. Hempenstall holding it up with 2 yellow shirts around him. Hempenstall wins another throw for Grantham. That was good play by the Grantham substitute, holding it up, and again the Gingerbreads taking their time. The referee stopping his watch, though. There's a limit to how much time you can actually take on this kind of throw in. The Gingerbreads will be waiting and wanting that final whistle to go to give them the 3 points from this game. And the throw taken by Jack McGovern this time, back to Dickens. Dickens knocks it forward to McGovern again. McGovern turning Rob Stevenson back to Dickens. Grantham playing the ball down the touchline, but the ball inside, and there it is the final whistle. The ball inside was everything that Grantham needed. Another 3 points for the Gingerbreads. 2 wins on the trot, 4 games unbeaten, but I'm sure that one of the things that will please manager Jimmy Albans and Wayne Harcrow more than anything else, Dave, is that clean sheet.
Clean sheet, absolutely right there. Get a clean sheet, you're halfway there, and we should have had another goal at the end, but yeah, good 3 points.
The better chances for the Gingerbreads coming in the second half. That opening goal being enough to settle the 3 points. 38 minutes gone in the first half. The ball was slipped through to Michael Towie. He beat the Belper defence and goalkeeper James Martin, slipped it into the back of the net. For the majority of the second half, it was the Gingerbreads who were the better side, having the better possession, the better chances. Belper threw their substitutes on to try and get something back out of the game, unable to do it. The Grantham backline absolutely resilient, and Dave, Grantham should have won it by more.
Should have done it at the end. 2 excellent chances at the end, should have wrapped it up to stop the nursing jangling, but yeah, we've got the 3 points. That's the important thing. As you say, clean sheet, that'll do us.
3 points is what Grantham set out for. 3 points is what Grantham got this afternoon here at the Mears. You've been listening to live commentary with Graham Cowell and Dave Philpott. Grantham Town 1, Belper Town 0. The final score. 3 points for the Gingerbreads. We're back with you again next Saturday when the Gingerbreads are at home to Ashton United. The final score this afternoon once more. And back to the studio. It's Grantham Town 1, Belper Town 0.